Right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KTV Primetime News. Now, ahead of the August pause, the tensions in the game of numbers continue to tighten. Sailing in the murky waters will not be as easy as it seemed to be. The claims of the desire to oust the president dominated the public discourse, with the accused strongly refuting the claims. And just a day to the final judgment on the contentious BBI bill, what will be the fate of the bill in the Supreme Court? Joining me for the discussion tonight on the pertinent issues is Sagana Mike, an MP aspirant in Kasarani constituency, and Morio, also an MP aspirant in Dagoreti North. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for dedicating your time for this discussion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right. Now, I will start with you, Sagana, because you are allied to the Deputy President. The claims of impeaching the sitting president, Uhuru Kenyatta. Dr. William Ruto has strongly refuted these claims. And, and he said that it's Raila who wanted to impeach the president. Now these are words that are coming from national leaders, because the president is coming with a different narrative and the deputy also has a different narrative. So which narrative should generally the Kenyans believe?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me tonight. My name is Sagana Mike, and I'm an MP aspirant from Kasarani constituency. Now, on to your question. I think on my side, I will go with the side of the deputy president, because in politics we do have propaganda. You know that, and without propaganda, you cannot have politics also. So if the president says that the DP wanted to impeach him, then he would have told us that story a long time ago. Why is he saying it today? Because we're in the political times, you see. And also, on another angle, you can say that when the president went to The Hague, the president left the instruments of power with Dr. William Ruto. If Dr. William Ruto, the deputy president, wanted to impeach him, then he would have planned maybe during that time, not the claims that we are having from the president. Yes. Right.
Now, Lewis, I want to know your take on this, because the deputy president has actually claimed that it's not him who wanted to impeach the president, but it's the opposition leader, or DM Chief Raila Odinga.
Thank you so much, Mondi, for having me tonight. And actually, I'd take it first by congratulating Karani Morethi, our KU primary student who had 421 marks. So to the question of the opposing side to my brother Sagana, because the president, just like any other Kenyan, has constitutional right which is protected. You understand? He has the political right. Because he's a symbol of unity. He held that idea for quite a long time. But now he has that opportunity within a political season to explain to the gamer elders why he thinks Baba is the best choice. So he did that meeting and told them, these are my reasons. So the jitters that we're having around the country, they raise more eyes. I mean, it is more than meets the eye to the DP to defend himself quite a number of times. In fact, in Msambweni, if you went through the address of the DP, he took close to 30 minutes explaining, trying to tell Kenyans how innocent he is about the thing. So I don't want to speculate much, but there is more than meets the eye, and the DP knows. Because he said it was the Prime Minister former who wanted to impeach the president, but today, you see the journalists who questioned Baba about the whole issue about impeachment, but he said he's not aware. But the DP insists it's the former Prime Minister. So the DP is in a good position to tell us how he really wanted this to play out.
Now, maybe because we are just getting to read a script that, the president himself and his deputy are bringing to us, so we might not delve much into that. So let us wait and see how things unfolds. Now, Sagana, I want to ask you one thing. The deputy president, still on the deputy president, he has actually asked the president to stop using the State House to, as a theater to divide Kenyans on ethnic lines. How true are these claims?
Well, he didn't say, he was just kind of requesting the president, because the president is a symbol of national unity, as he said. And you, as the president, you're supposed to act on a fair playing field. Do you get me? Now, the president at this time and juncture, he is acting like he is the chief campaigner of Raila Amolo Odinga. So I think also when you look on their side, the Azimio side, they are trying to play the the regional politics where tribal lines lean on. So I don't think he's requesting the president that he should stop any other claims, maybe on tribal lines or maybe dividing Kenyans, but just play a neutral politics whereby he's a symbol of national unity because he's still in office.
Right. When you're talking about, the president being a symbol of national unity, that he should not be probably taking sides. I don't know what that's what you mean.
Yes.
Right. Now, today on the rally in Kitui, the leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza, they were asking the president, actually, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru was requesting the president to have a handshake with the deputy president. And he denounced the support he is having for ODM Chief Raila Odinga and support the deputy. Now, what will we call that if actually that happens?
Well, let me say my own opinion as Sagana. First of all, I wouldn't like the support of Uhuru Kenyatta to come to our side. Yes, maybe I will agree with Governor Anne Waiguru maybe on the handshake part because, as you said, is a symbol of national unity. Therefore, we'll not be having Kenyans saying that Uhuru Kenyatta, the president, is supporting side A or supporting side B. Therefore, we'll be having a neutral ground. But on him supporting us, that's a no.
Right. Now, Lewis, what do you think for the president to be fair, to be a national, an icon of national unity, as Sagana clearly puts it?
Okay.
What should he do?
The team that Sagana belongs, rather the function of Tanga, they're a little bit dishonest, and they tend to read from their two sides of the mouth. It's on record that the Asla mansion, the so-called Karen, it is on record for having a flurry of activities. You understand? For the past 8 years. That is a state resource. The electricity, the water, the deputy president is utilizing is under the state resources. You understand? So it could be in order to challenge the president, whom I could protect by all rights. You understand? Because before that meeting, the president had a meeting with the Marsabit officials in terms of the skirmishes that are ongoing there. So you cannot isolate and challenge anything political that the president hosts in State House and single it out in the name of supporting the former prime minister. And then when you see Waiguru trying to plead support of the president or the DP is on record having called the president and referred to him as the brother for the past, let's say, 9 years, until when Uhuru Kenyatta officially launched Azimio. It's on record. That is when hell broke loose for the deputy president.
Right.
Yeah, now he's hurling insults and all sorts of names, but it's not in order. I think it's not good at such a time. So what we expect of the faction of Tanga is to come clear. Let's meet at the ballot. Let them denounce this whole thing about project and trying to someone like Raila Odinga, it's a little bit unfair. Even the likes of Gachagua know Raila Odinga cannot be a project. Everyone knows.
All right.
He has sacrificed enough for country.
Let us not give that much weight. Now, another interesting bit actually that we would want us to talk about is the contentious BBI bill. And Sagana, maybe just to get to you on the faction that is opposed to the constitutional amendment, the BBI. The leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza, they took to the podiums once the Supreme Court announced the date where it will be making the ruling on the BBI, that is on the 31st of March. Why is Kenya Kwanza so opposed to constitutional changes? Because we experienced this actually. Some of the leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza, they were opposing the 2010 constitution, but now in their campaigns they have been praising the 2010 constitution, saying that it is one of the best constitutions that we've ever had. Now, why are they opposing the constitutional changes? Because primarily what I think is that with the time we get to experience new challenges, that requires probably also new constitutional changes to mitigate some of these challenges.
Okay, my friend, we are opposing the BBI. We are not opposing the whole BBI. We are opposing sections of the BBI because, let's say, like I think I've seen a news today that by midnight tonight, the petrol price will be at 144 shillings per liter. We have had economic times. This is not the right time to have such discussions on whether we are going to change the constitution. We are supposed to be having economic discussions which will help Kenya rise from the debt ceiling where we are currently, because as you know we are in a bad state as a country. on our economy. Also, on the BBI, there are some sections that we agree with. There are some sections that we don't agree. I was in that meeting that we held in Karen with the legislatures. I was there. So our proposals were some sections we do voting according to the sections that will be there of the BBI, because you cannot afford creating more seats at the top. That is what we don't want.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Lewis, I just want to get to you now. What do you think of the BBI? Because it's the ruling that was made in the High Court. It ruled against the BBI, and then they appealed to the Court of Appeal, and which also ruled against the BBI. What do you foresee in the Supreme Court?
From where I'm seated, the basic structure doctrine is applicable in Kenya. For such a constitutional process to finally result into a referendum, we must have what we call civic education, we must have public participation and engagement of all county assemblies before we get to the referendum. I believe we are all from Kenya. We are not strangers in Jerusalem. The BBI team, led by Paul Mwangi and Adam Solo, they all exhausted these avenues. We had the engagements, we had all the assemblies. In fact, Baringo was the first one to denounce the bill. But at the end of the exercise out of 47, we acquired the threshold to have the bill get to a referendum. But it was challenged. So after it was challenged, we've had the High Court have a ruling. The team from Tangatanga, they celebrated the outcome. You understand? So with the same celebration and honesty, I'm expecting them to be patient until Thursday so that you can hear from the Apex Court what happens. So that is the only request I have from our friends. Because I don't have any copy, rather the outcome of what the ruling will be. All our fingers are closed. But we are very hopeful because we know what BBI meant for this country. And the issue he talked of petrol prices going high. My friend, we are not an island. You know, there is a war in Ukraine and Russia. So there are obviously those consequences. But you see, we cannot isolate ourselves from progress as a country because of hard economic times. You understand? Yeah. All our economic factors should be in tandem in all spheres of the country.
I don't know what Sagana Mike is preparing to say, but maybe just before you talk, Sagana, I think maybe just to travel back in time, when the High Court made its ruling and then the Court of Appeal also made its ruling, we could see members from the Kenya Kwanza saying that there is a living God. What will happen to this God probably when, the Supreme Court rules otherwise, as you counter what Lewis was saying?
I will not say anything until Thursday comes because we don't know the outcome.
Thank you.
They are already celebrating.
Thank you. No, nobody's celebrating.
But he's saying about the county assemblies. We know, and we all know we're in Kenya. We know the news that were there. They were using intimidations to pass the bill. Yes,
there's never been any complaint of any intimidation. Maybe you have information.
I don't know about public participation, but I don't know where they did their public participation. Yes. All right. Now
let us wait for Thursday to get to see how everything unfolds. Now, the window for the transfer window actually in the political scenes was closed on Tuesday, meaning that everything will be going as every contestant is. That is the bus that you'll be traveling in ahead of the August polls. Now, I don't know what you think. Sagana, I know you are in UDA. The party primaries are just coming. How are things? Do you probably see things, credibility in the nominations, everything going on a neutral ground in the UDA?
In the recent past, we've been having chaos during the party primaries. That's the nominations stages. Well, this time round, I think we've seen many parties, including those from the Azimio side. We've been trying consensus in some areas or let's say some counties and constituencies, but probably where we'll be having like more than 3 or 2 candidates, I think we'll be heading to the party primaries. We hope and we pray that those parties, and preferably my party, that is the UDA party, we hope that the National Elections Board, they've put out clear guidelines on how we'll be having fair nominations nominations. Yes.
Right. Now, you just touched on the consensus in some of these posts. I don't know what you're thinking about this, Luis, because we've actually seen in Homa Bay, John Buddy, stepped down, and then we also saw in other regions like Fordi. Okay, we've also seen it in Kakamega. Halwale stepped down for Malala.
Correct.
Right. Now, what do you think about, these issues of parties doing a consensus that now on this region we should be filing someone from this party? What do you make of it, the whole of this thing?
From where I'm seated, I'm a believer of democracy. And I believe the final say, rests with the majority. Mm-hmm. So if a party opts for consensus, I think it shouldn't raise any eyebrows having any candidate feeling not fully, the avenue doesn't sit pretty with him. For the case of Homa Bay, Mbadi has a position within the party hierarchy. Mm-hmm. So I think it was the wisest decision to have the team, held together, mm-hmm. because Baba needs the entirety. Because that's a stronghold. It needs like 99 voter turnout. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to speak largely on DAP, mm-hmm. because there's some news which developed over the weekend, mm-hmm. which we feel aggrieved as those whom we feel we form the party. Mm-hmm. The party, if you follow keenly for the past 1 month, because we formed it on December 14th, mm-hmm. we are barely 3 months old. It was very unfortunate of what happened within Kakamega and Vihiga. Mm-hmm. It's now zoned. It's an ODM zone.
Right.
But you see, as you've said, consensus, it's okay. Mm-hmm. So within the party leadership, we respect the decision. Mm-hmm. In fact, for Nairobi, they sorted for the MPs, mm-hmm. and they'll be fielding the MCS. Right. So in my constituency, we will not provide a candidate. Mm-hmm. So what happens, within the Azimio parties, the 22 parties, you can manage within. Mm-hmm. That is if you insist to be on the ballot. Mm-hmm. But the argument again was, we can have consensus, you support the ODM candidate. You understand? Right. Mm-hmm. So for democracy, I feel I sit pretty under Muungano with mm-hmm. the leadership of Professor Kifudha Kibwana, mm-hmm. to have the mandate of the people. Mm-hmm. You understand? At the end of the day, that should be the hierarchy of democracy.
Right.
Yeah. So for consensus, it shouldn't be done in a way you infringe the rights of other candidates. You understand?
Yes. That's well put. That's well put, Lewis. Now, just because of time, you people are aspiring to be lawmakers. We have Sagana, aspiring to be the MP for Kasarani, and of course you with Dagoreti North. Looking at the whole scene in Kenya, the laws, the constitution, and everything. Once you rise to, because I'm also optimistic that probably you also clinch these seats, because you're my friends, of course. Now, what changes? What weaknesses are you seeing, or rather gaps are you seeing in the Kenyan constitution or policy making that you people would probably give a priority when you rise to these seats? Start with you, Mike.
Well, currently, there are some policies that are in the constitution, but you don't sit pretty with them. Mm-hmm. Probably, let's say, like the forest issue, that there were MPs from our side, but I didn't agree with them, mm-hmm. because forest boundaries should remain with the Kenya Forest Reserve, mm-hmm. and the bodies that are instituted to manage them. Mm-hmm. Now, there's some policies which are in parliament that we cannot agree with, mm-hmm. and these old mzes who are there, mm-hmm. they are not even ready to change these laws. Mm-hmm. You see, if you're keen and you've been keen enough in the previous parliament, it's the youthful MPs who have been championing for the changes which are in the constitution right, mm-hmm. now, and those the policies that are being changed.
Right.
Yes.
All right, Luis.
I think I concur with my brother, mm-hmm. as the youthful legislators. God willing, if we occupy the August House, mm-hmm. there's so many things that await us, mm-hmm. under the bucket list. You see, the youth as a majority of the population, close to 60. And then you see, when you have such a government that doesn't give much attention, it's sort of a time bomb, mm-hmm. for such a population. You'll have cases of insecurity and sort. So we really have to have a conversation where, as the youthful legislators, the likes of Babu, they've not done enough, right. But they have done, let's say they've tried. Yeah. But I believe if we get those opportunities, mm-hmm. we'll try and see how we can exhaust the labor force, mm-hmm. in terms of the youth, because it's on record, we have so many graduates out here,
right.
who are engaging activities outside what they studied. You understand? So that is the type of energy, the type of resource we should tap in.
Right.
Tap into.
All right,
Yeah.
get that. Now, maybe as we wind up because of time, in about a minute, what words do you have for the electorates and the general public? Mike.
Okay. Once again, thank you so much for having us tonight. It's a pleasure being here once again. Now, to the electorates who are in Kasarani constituency, we are heading to the nominations, that is the party primaries, on 14th of April 2022. We are 8 candidates so far that have registered, and we pray for a fair party nominations which will be holding on the same day, as I've said. So it's my urge and my plea to the constituency members to elect me as their preferred UDA parliamentary aspirant. Also to Kenyans who are out there, we are here as brothers. He's in Azimio, I'm in Kenya Kwanza, but the core business that we'd like to sell to Kenyans is peace, because there are so many youths who are being used out here. I can give an example. In Kasarani, there was a rally there on Saturday. I won't say which side, but there are youths who are used to destroy property. You see, so we are preaching peace, especially to the youths we are of the same age, that we come together in harmony and we elect those leaders that will work for us.
Right.
We should not elect leaders because they are dishing out money. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Lois, as we wind up in a minute.
Thank you, Mondi. Maybe I could commend my brother for taking such a noble initiative to run within the Nairobi County. I know many people have run away from the idea in the name of how so wide the region is and the expectations of the people. So I think I could thank my residents, rather the people of Dagoreti North, for accepting my idea. We've been working closely for the past few months under the registration process. And as Muungano Party, I thought actually I could be the only candidate, but I'll be battling it out with 2 others. So we'll be having a nomination on April 18th. So far we've registered a good number of people under Muungano, and I look forward to them giving me the mantle to carry the party ticket up to the August House.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So, right, I really appreciate, gentlemen, for dedicating your time for this discussion, and I'm praying for you, of course, wishing you all the very best. We need to see a regime of, young leaders making changes and making the country a better place.